Picture a Monday morning. A report that normally takes a knowledge worker 3 solid hours to compile, analyze, and format is already sitting in their inbox. Finished. An AI assistant handled it overnight. The standard corporate narrative frames this as liberation. With the busy work out of the way, that employee supposedly has hours freed up for strategic thinking, creativity, and deeper collaboration. But sitting just below the surface of that reclaimed time is a quiet, unspoken question. If the machine can do the heavy lifting that used to define my value, what exactly am I here to do? That creeping uncertainty is one of the most consequential side effects of the modern workplace transition, and most executive teams are looking right past it. When organizations deploy automated agents, they look for immediate wins, massive gains in speed, cost reductions, and overall efficiency. But beneath that polished surface is a secondary impact that doesn't show up on any dashboard. This unraveling occurs as a silent, slow-motion collapse in team trust and human capability, rather than a sudden wave of layoffs. Celebrating those top-line productivity metrics while turning a blind eye to the decay of human collaboration is a reliable way to engineer long-term failure. The mechanism breaking down here is called psychological safety. It's the shared belief among a team that it's safe to make a mistake or float a half-baked idea without fear of punishment or humiliation. This is a robustly researched metric, grounded in decades of organizational behavior studies. Harvard Business School professor Amy Edmondson has spent her career defining the conditions for peak team performance. Her recent work points to a predictable pattern. Deploying AI software often fractures the trust between the people using it. This chart shows findings published in the journal Nature, illustrating a direct, inverse relationship between AI adoption and workplace well-being. As new tech rolls out and disrupts established roles, psychological safety drops, and the data maps that drop directly to an increased risk of employee depression. Researchers at MIT highlight exactly how this plays out in practice. They found that 22% of employees actively hesitate to lead an AI project, fearing they'll be blamed if the algorithm makes an error they can't predict. These negative outcomes are the natural result of replacing human workflows without considering the human experience. Work out of Loyola University's Lab for Applied Artificial Intelligence frames this issue around a basic question: why do people actually care about their work in the first place? Self-determination theory shows human motivation relies on 3 core needs: competence, autonomy, and relatedness. When algorithms handle the analysis and drafting, taking over tasks used to demonstrate expertise, the competence pillar weakens. At the same time, relying on a black box system removes ownership, and the blurred accountability that follows chips away at team relatedness. This hesitation is a rational retreat from an environment that has dismantled the signals of professional value, rather than a stubborn resistance to technology. This creates a massive operational roadblock. Survey data from thousands of global consulting employees shows that psychological safety reliably predicts whether teams will even use new AI tools. If the environment is unsafe, the strategy will systematically underperform. When human competence feels threatened rather than supported, employees instinctively withhold the distinctly human, creative insights that machines cannot replicate. And this psychological toll does not fall evenly. In places with deep structural inequalities, like the South African workplace, the stakes are much higher. For workers facing economic precarity and a lack of reskilling options, the uncertainty of AI displacement represents a genuine, terrifying threat. An AI governance framework that ignores this uneven distribution of psychological risk is irresponsible. Boards and executives face a mandate. They must treat AI integration as a human effectiveness problem. Organizations must match the rapid pace of AI deployment with an equivalent deliberate investment in psychological safety infrastructure. This means leaders must model vulnerability, create explicit space for questions and failures, and design transitions that expand human contribution rather than replacing it. The true winners of the AI era will be determined by who masters the invisible psychological conditions that allow human beings to work alongside machines without fear.